You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello, you degenerate fucks, and welcome to the Degenerate Gambler. It is Thursday, the 30th of July. Thursday? Sunday, the 30th of July. I'm used to doing episodes on a Wednesday or Thursday. Um, yeah, this will be the last sort of pre-season episode. There'll be another episode, proper episode with bets in it on Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, the championship is back next week. This episode just will be quick. I'll just run through the season bets, the outright bets that I've picked so far this season. Um, I've actually got one free this year because I used some free spins. And I had money landing the William Hill from that money they've just been collecting over the summer. And then I've done so I had a free one which is £8.12. I have a fiver one, a £20 one, a £15 one, and I'm also looking for those Sky Bet ones where they give you sort of scenarios of whatever. But I'll look that up this week. And probably stick a fiver on one of those, maybe a 30 or 50 to 1 sort of type one. But anyway, as I say, this will be short and sweet today. Just to let you run through my outright bets. So the one that I got free, and this one has the most selections. There's 6 selections in this one. Um, Mostly short prices. Shit, I haven't wrote the prices down for these. I remember some of them anyway, but Middlesbrough to get in the playoffs. I think they're about even money. Uh, Good form since Michael Carrick took over. Unlucky last year. Did not make the playoffs and go well. They did make the playoffs, but not to go up. So I do think they'll have a solid season. I think that's a good price. Peterborough playoffs. Again, around I think it's 10 to 11, 11 to 10, something like that. They are the yo-yo club. They go up to the championship. They stay a few years. They go back to League One. They stay a year or two. They go back up. But they are a consistent playoff team in League One. Mansfield. Now, Mansfield, I had them last year and they beat me, but they lost out on goal difference last year. Um, and they have got some decent players and a good manager in Nigel Clough. So I think they're around about the same again. These are mostly all evens or close to it. Um, Next one is AC Milan top four. Now, AC Milan, a lot of people fancy them, including I spoke the other week about a follower who fancies them for to win the league at 11 to 2. But they are 4 to 6, 4 to 6 for the top four. And they've had some good signings, Pulisic. Who else did they sign? Loftus Cheek. So yeah, it could be good contenders for the league, but I wasn't willing to risk that. So I think 4 to 6, top four is a great price. Next is Galatasaray to win the league. They're 11 to 8. Um, some good signings. Scardy, who was on loan, is now permanent. The same Wilfred Zaha on free. They did win the league last year, so 11 to 8 I think is a good price, and you might struggle to get that price now, because obviously, like I said, they've signed Wilfred Zaha the other day. And then lastly, Sheffield United to be relegated. They're 4 to 6. I just think out of the 3 teams that came up, Luton obviously could be weak too, but there's no value in betting them. So those 6 selections comes to for £8.12, which is free. As I say, it was a free bet. Pays 5.87. So I'm happy with that. Now on to my sort of longer shot ones. There's only a fiver on this. We only got £5 on this. So look, um, not you know, not that I'm not worried if it doesn't win, but this one's less likely. Obviously. But the first one is at 7 to 2, Wolves to be relegated. I mean, they've lost some good players to the Saudi League and others. Jimenez went to Wolves. They have got a new manager who does have a good track record, but last year they were poor. They didn't score enough goals. And I just think this year might be the year that they drop into that bottom 3. And 7 to 2 is a huge price. Next is something you've heard me talk about before, Southampton. Southampton to get promoted are 5 to 2. Or is it 7 to 2? I've wrote down. I can't read my own writing. But anyway, Southampton promotion. Good squad, good academy. Yes, they've lost some players and they might lose some more. But I think out of the 3 teams that went down, I think they're best equipped to do well in the championship. Uh, yeah, so I do think that Southampton will get promoted. Sorry, Southampton they're 9-4 to be promoted. Sorry, they're not fighting or 7-2, which is basically 2-1, just over. So I'm happy with that. Next, Wickham. Now, this is a bit of a chance because Wickham I backed them last year to finish in the playoffs. They lost Gareth Ainsworth, their manager, which kind of threw a spanner in their season. They don't score a lot of goals, but this year they've signed a player that I know quite well because he's from Northern Ireland. That's Dale Taylor, on loan from Nottingham Forest. But he went on loan last year to Burton and scored a few goals in a not great Burton team. But Wickham are going to be expected to be in and around sort of the playoffs all season. And with the fact that they don't have many strikers, he'll get game time. So I'm just hoping the kid can bang them in and fire them to um, the playoffs. Like I say, it's not even promotion. It's just top six, and it's 5-2, which I think is a huge price. They were about evens last year, 11-10, so they've obviously went out because they didn't make the playoffs. And then last is Hamilton to win the Scottish League One. Reason for that, they went down the season before, but they're probably the biggest club. They've been in the Premier, Scottish Premiership, in the not so distant past. They're probably the biggest club in the league. I just think that they'll be too strong for the other teams, and that's 5-2. So in total, £5 on that pays 895 quid. So a pretty big return for a small investment and only four selections. Next is the big one. So this is kind of a mixture of some biggies prices, some small prices. But Salford to finish in the top half at 4-7. Now Salford have been in and around that playoff spot for a few years. Haven't made a load of signings this year, but there were playoffs last year, and I'm sure they will make some investment before the season, before the transfer window closes. Next is Scunthorpe to win the National League North. Now, last year I said I was staying away from sort of National League and all them ones because they are very difficult leagues to predict. So many turnover of players. Some clubs have got rid of 8, 9, 10 players and brought in 8, 9, 10 players, and that's very, very hard to predict. But looking at Scunthorpe, clearly the biggest side in that National League North. Also, they've lost a few players, but they signed their player of the year to a new contract, so he's staying. A few other players have been put on the transfer market, but I just looked through their squad, looked through their signings, their players out. Again, I just think too big a club to not come straight back up. Next, Millwall. Millwall to finish top half, 5-6. Now, Millwall finished 8th last year, which was a good season for them, but Millwall could be one of those clubs, they could be 12th, they could be 8th. So I think really we're betting in there between those four positions. But a 5-6 to finish top half, you don't have to have a great season to finish top half. Um, so I think that's a pretty good price. Next, Leverkusen top four. Now Leverkusen have burnt me, I think was last year anyway, where they finished top four. But again, Xabi Alonso went in there after so many games last year, and I looked at their form at the end of last year, and I think it was the last 20 games that had top four form. So it's really only the first sort of 15 to 20 games where they struggled. But their form, and actually their form in the last five was bad, or they would have finished top four. They actually, I think, lost almost all 5 games in the last. Definitely had a poor run. So that's taken that into consideration too, that they had a poor run. So Xabi Alonso over there, looked at the signing, some decent players signed, not too many players leaving. I think 11-10 for top four is a good signing. Lastly, on that one is Linfield. So it's my local team. I was waiting on that one because of the European thing. Last year, Linfield's season was messed up because they were minutes away from getting into the Europa Conference group stage. They were winning a game, conceded in the 90th minute, went the extra time, and then lost on penalties, which I think to me it really messed up their season. It put them on a bit of a downer, and um, they struggled at the start of the season. So I think that again for Lauren, it's hard for any team to win a league 2 years in a row. And they were the champions last year. Yeah, so that's why I've went Linfield on that one. They're 2-1, and they've made some good signings too. Right, so then the last bet, I always do a goal score bet, but I usually only put a tenner on it. Oh, sorry, on the last one, that was a £20 bet, and it pays £1,278 for that big one. And again, only 5 selections, so not that many. But then lastly, say I usually put a tenner on a goal score bet, but I'll do 6 selections, 7 selections, and there's always one or two that'll fuck me up. So this year I was like, right, I'll put a bit more money on it. I'll go to 15 quid, and I'll cut the selections back. So I've actually only did four selections, and the payout is less too. Usually it would win about 800. This year it's only winning close to 400. But listen, you'd be happy with that at the end of the season. So the four I picked are Eze from Palace to be Palace's top goal scorer, Watkins from Villa to be hit their top goal scorer, Salah and Rashford. So Eze's 5-2, Watkins is 8-13, Salah is 6-4, and Rashford's 5-6. They were all top goal scorers for their clubs last year, and also with Zaha going, he was quite, for a few years there, he was Palace's top goal scorer. So the £15 on that side pays 388. And I was thinking about a fifth selection, and there was a few I was looking at, but I just hadn't got the confidence. So I thought to myself, would I rather take £400 or risking on getting £800 for a selection I'm not confident with, but I am confident with those four. So I will post these probably when I post the episode, or just after. Love to hear your feedback. If there's any other people you fancy, or any ones you don't fancy, or any different ones, certainly send me them. Send me them on social media. And as I say, I'm looking at a Sky Bet one of those, where they pick it for you type deals, but some of them come in pretty good. But anyway, that's it for today. So it'll be short and sweet. Episode back, proper episode with bets, selections for the weekend's football, probably Wednesday or Thursday. So just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.